Please stand for prayer and pledge of allegiance. Our kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we bow before you in reverence. We come tonight to give honor unto you and to thank you. We know that all that we have comes from you. We pray, Lord, that you guide us and direct us as we do the business of the community this evening, and that all the words spoken and all the votes cast be pleasing unto you. We ask a special prayer, Lord, for our sick and our shut-in. You lay your healing hand upon them and comfort them in our time of need. These things I pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated.
You want to turn it down? It's 69. It's warmer outside.
Clerk, call the roll.
Phillips? Here. Wright?
Here.
Hart?
Here.
Okay, so now Flowers, Abrig,
Here.
Kennel.
Yeah. Here.
Council, Mr. Flowers let us know this morning that he couldn't be here tonight. He had a work commitment, and the manager went home sick today. I would entertain a motion to excuse Mr. Giroux and Mr. Flowers.
So moved.
Second.
So moved by Mr. Wright, seconded by Ms. Phillips. Questions, comments? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Phillips?
Aye.
Wright?
Aye.
Hart?
Aye.
Abrig?
Aye.
Kennel.
Yeah.
Reading disposition of the minutes of the previous meeting. Council, what's your pleasure?
Mayor, I make a motion we adopt the minutes as presented from the previous meeting.
Second.
Motion by Harp, seconded by Wright, to adopt as presented. Questions or comments? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Phillips?
Aye.
Wright?
Aye.
Hart?
Aye.
Abrig?
Aye.
Kennel.
Yeah.
Motion carries. Minutes are adopted as presented. Citizens' comments, and a citizen wishes to address council this evening. Yes, ma'am.
Has anyone heard anything about,
Name and address for the court, please.
Jan Weingart, 196 East Ohio.
Thank you.
Has anyone heard anything about WRTA coming to the courthouse like they said they were going to?
Not a word.
Not a word. Okay.
I've been told if you call them and tell them, they'll come. They're not coming like on their own. Several people have checked into it and they said, well, you have to call them and make arrangements and then they'll
Yes,
come.
but they said when they were going to move the courthouse that they were going to have a bus there for Western Mahoning County. And they haven't done it, and that's why I wanted to know.
I'm sure we're all surprised at that.
Call the commissioners.
I guess I will call them.
Anybody else under citizens' comments? Referring of communications and/or petitions. Any petitions to be presented to council this evening? Any communications? Madam Clerk, you got it?
Just that one I gave you for the tax thing.
Madam Solicitor, you got anything for communications?
No. I
Okay.
didn't get-
Okay. Report of council committees and council representatives. Finance, Mr. Hart.
Yes, Mayor, members of council. Finance Committee did meet on February 15th in council chambers. All members were present, including Mayor Mike Pinkerton, Village Manager Rick Giroux, Street Superintendent Bill Sanger, Tax Administrator Mabel Unkefer was also in attendance. We had some items that we wanted to review. One was House Bill 49, and there were questions asked as to where the $1,000 was going to, either the OML or RETA. Manager was asked to research and get back to the committee. And in the manager's weekly notes, he advised that there are 3 lawsuits as part of our membership, which we are in with RETA. So apparently that's where that $1,000 went. Are you in?
I guess I thought I explained that to Rick very thoroughly. The letter is very self-explanatory. The $1,000 is a retainer to have that firm represent you.
No, not for Rita. That's from the OML.
The $1,000?
No, forget the $1,000.
Okay, because $1,000, I thought we discussed, and we're not gonna do that, because it's a retainer.
For
That
that
then
law
they bill
firm,
against.
that law firm sent out information on their own, not part of any organization.
Correct.
Okay, didn't sign that.
Okay. That was my concern, is because that one was a retainer that they were gonna bill against, and then when they ran out of money, they were gonna come back and get more.
No.
And I think they were billing at $3.50 an hour. The other I've not been made aware of.
It's number one, Mike, on his weekly memo that talks about there are
Right.
actually 3 lawsuits.
And
We are part of one just by our association with Rita.
Yeah.
There was no cost to us for that. And there is no contract with that. It's just part of our,
It's a class action.
OML has one, and then he doesn't say who the third one is, but
No pay.
yeah, that was the one that we didn't,
Yeah.
we're not paying them. That was the one you told him not, that we should not get involved in.
We shouldn't be paying anybody if there's a class action out there, that they get paid in the end.
From
Yeah.
what Rick said, that $1,000 has not been paid out yet.
Has not been dispersed, yes.
That's what I understood.
Right.
I told
Okay.
him it'll be gone the first trip to the courthouse.
Well, there was some confusion. We did get an email from Rita asking if the member communities under the Regional Income Tax Association would
Participate.
be willing to kick in $1,000 apiece for the villages and $5,000 for cities, if it come to that.
What is that money intended to use, to be used for?
Legal fees.
So,
I guess I'd want to know what firm and who's going to be representing us in class actions.
They haven't asked for it yet.
Okay, because in a class action, you don't pay litigation fees.
Well, I don't know that Rita filed a class action. They wanted to file an injunction immediately because of the,
They could do that as a class.
I'm sorry if I'm taking.
no, you're on the
They could
spot.
still do that as a
because-
class. I just don't know, I'm not aware of anything being certified as a class.
Because the
action.
state has already sent out letters to businesses telling them that they could send the money to the state.
Huh.
They went ahead on their own, without legislation or anything else.
I guess our point is, are we as a village gonna continue with these, or are we dropping it? Your recommendation was to drop it.
My recommendation was not, the only thing I've looked at thoroughly is that firm that wanted us to send $1,000.
That was a
Right.
rogue firm
Yeah.
sending letters to everybody.
Correct.
They were not in association with any of the organizations that we belong to.
Okay.
Okay.
So the other, I guess I'd like to look at it. I'm
Okay.
not aware of it.
Okay. I'll get with you. Okay. Fine, Mayor, thank you. Okay, and one of the others was trash aggregation. Upon our discussion, is still pending for further review. Manager said solicit quotes. Do we have everything we need implemented to go forward, to go out to bid? Or there's different clauses in there where they could opt out. So that still has to be looked at under trash aggregation that we discussed on that meeting. Also, we looked at monthly water billing. Suggestion from the manager was to do a first month's actual reading, then estimate the next 2, and that would require update of software, at a cost of approximately $15,000. The suggestion was to have billing cards with 2 perforated tabs for the second and third month readings. That will still be looked at. Other discussion was delinquent water payments and how we're going to collect that. Suggestion was possible credit card payments to offset the debt. And the committee also discussed a proposed note from Farmers Bank to renew a $100,000 bond and have it moved to a 2-year note and pay $25,000 against it for 2 years. Bill Sainer also gave the committee a list of surplus items from the service department, and the manager gave a brief overview of the water plant debt and advised the finance committee to consider some options for this year. And one of his quotes, he's not here tonight, but he did say the debt in the water fund is or could be restricting us from accessing other fund mechanisms because of our debt. So it's going to go back to the Finance Committee or Council as a whole to see what we want to do as far as relieving some of our water debt. And that was all we had for that, Mayor,
Okay.
in that meeting. And with that, I'd like to make a motion for the manager to pay bills when funds become available for checks dated from 2/10 of 2018 through 2/23/2018, when funds become available in the amount of $122,773.32. Those are bills to be paid.
Second.
Motion by Harp, seconded by Wright. Questions or comments?
Mayor, under questions or comments, the list of bills that are outstanding for this pay period are as follows. And they are Cargill Incorporated for $1,509.52. That's for salt at the service department. James Scott Powers, $1,687.27. That's for fuel at the service department. Safeguard Properties is $10,000. That's for a vacant property bond release. And Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, $24,505.86. Health insurance premium. And Direct Business Energy, $5,439.02. That's for electricity. Mahoning County Board of Health, $3,040 for lab testing at the service department. AT&T Long Distance, $1,527.58. And Quicksall and Associates, $51,437.71 for the corrosion contract study. I believe that's at the water plant. And Mayor, that's the bills that I see as outstanding for this pay period of note.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Phillips.
Aye.
Wright.
Aye.
Hart.
Aye.
Average.
Aye.
Kennel.
Yes.
Motion carries. Anything else, Mr. Wright?
You said Mr. Wright.
I'm sorry, Mr. Harp?
Not unless any of the Finance Committee members had anything that could have been missed in that meeting. Nothing, everything was covered.
Got it.
I would like to get with the members after the meeting or thereof to schedule another finance meeting so that we can get these things rolling again as far as the trash aggregation and see what we're going to do with this debt on the delinquent water payments.
Okay. Mr. Harp, I'd like to put one more other thing in your committee, since you're going to meet.
Yes, sir.
In the administrative code, 133.14, off-duty members called to testify, compensation. We have an anomaly there. It was passed by council on 5/9 of 77, but nobody has put this in the wage ordinance, and that's the proper place for it.
Okay.
So if you would,
Yeah,
you have that copy of that?
I do.
So if your committee would take a look at that, and it would require a amendment to the wage ordinance.
Okay.
Anything else under finance?
No, Mayor, that would be it.
Legislative, Mr. Aberg.
No meeting, Mayor.
Capital improvement, Ms. Phillips.
No meeting, Mayor.
Annexation, Mr. Kennel.
No meeting.
Service maintenance, Mr. Wright.
I have no meeting, Mayor.
Safety, Mr. Flowers. He isn't here. Does anybody have anything, Mr. Hart or Mr. Aberg?
No. Other than, I think there were some questions that if I may, Mayor, I'd like to refer this to the solicitor. With the implementation of the EMS, does there have to be any ordinance or resolutions drawn upon us
I
for
don't
that?
believe so.
You don't
I
believe so?
I've read the charter from front to back twice, just looking, and I see where Mayor Pinkerton referred to section Oh, it's on page 6.
Yes.
And those are general powers of, you guys can pass a resolution, obviously, if you want to, but I don't see a need to, because everything's established. It would be like micromanaging the department or Bill's department, and, you know.
Wouldn't we still have to change the wage ordinance for that?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
They've already got their job titles, their wages are set, their time limits are set. I believe everything's fine for them to go forward with it, with the 6-month review, correct? I mean, when the committee voted.
We're gonna do it on a quarterly basis?
Yeah.
The committee recommended that we try it on a quarterly basis, although I was a dissenting member.
You were,
so-
you were the sole dissenting
I
member?
was.
Yep.
And so, you know, with that, I understand that he's going after 32 hours. 30 hours constitutes full-time.
In firefighting, it's different.
Okay,
It's
okay.
50, I think it's 56.
Okay.
There's a whole completely different section for that, for firefighters, and it's 56 hours. So that was my concern, is we're gonna get over 30, we're gonna have to get them, you know.
Well, that overtime, you know, where's this gonna come into play? That was one of the questions I had to, you know.
Yeah, they're permitted up to 56 hours, but I guess the question I would, and I didn't think about it at the time, but somebody else mentioned it, you know, if a paramedic is, they're taking over the duties of the people that come down and clean and mow the grass and all that stuff, and I understand that. But if they're not on a call, are they still getting $15 an hour as a paramedic? And the other guys
$15
get
an hour, in other words, to cut grass. Is that what
Yeah.
you meant?
Yeah, I don't, and, yeah. They, I don't know what the answer to that question, that was just a question that I had for the chief. I know there's a list down there, and they're not allowed to be down there working out and using the gym and, you know, watching TV. They're supposed to be productive during that day, that they're there.
That's all I had, Mayor.
Okay. Park and Recreation was Mr. Flowers, and I don't think the Park Board, you got something?
I do have something, actually. I ran into one of the park board members, so they're gonna ask us, Jim, to come up there. It's either gonna be the last week in March, or we might go in April. They don't want
Okay.
us to come up at the first meeting, and it probably makes more sense, because what we need to talk about, we should solely focus on that. I mean, and not get caught up in their regular meeting. So they're gonna talk about that, I guess, at their next meeting, which would be March the 8th.
Yes.
And then he's gonna get back to me and let me know that, what day. I just told him I'm not gonna be available the week of the 19th.
Yeah.
But I would be available the week
Right.
prior to that or the week after that, whichever one they wanted to do. And I said I would check with you tonight to make sure you don't have any conflicts with that, so. So that's all I know from the park board.
Okay. Planning and zoning, Mr. Abrig, they would meet Thursday night if they have anything from an agenda.
Okay.
Do you have anything at this point?
No, I will let you know, leave ahead of time.
All right, thank you.
Civil Service, Ms. Phillips?
We have not met since last council meeting, but they do have a meeting scheduled for Monday, March 12th at 6 p.m.
Very good. Fire Department,
When is that? Because they told me they wanted me there.
March 12th at 6 p.m.
It's before council.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Veterans Memorial, Mr. Wright?
I did receive an email from Mr. Fetters. I finally got around to that. But unfortunately, I told him I could be there at the next meeting, which is March 13th, but I'm not going to be able to make that meeting because it's on a Tuesday. So will be responding back to him that I won't be able to make that meeting. But they're looking for a speaker, if anybody knows anybody that would like to speak. And they were wanting to know if my scout troop would participate in the flag raising. They are moving that up to start at 11:45. So it won't be starting at 1 o'clock like it typically has in the past. So, because the flags fly at half mast till 12, and then they go back up to full mast. So when we were there and raised them up, there was like 3 people there. So I recommended to them last year, why don't you move it up an hour, and it will make things a lot easier. And people will actually get to see the flag go up rather than the 3 people that were actually working, they weren't even paying attention to what we were doing.
Okay. The retention committee is me and the solicitor and the manager, and I think everything is now here that we need to review. So maybe either next week or the first week in March.
I don't know.
Okay, very good. Just kind of hold.
Preferably not a Thursday,
Okay.
because I have Sebring court, unless you want to do it in the afternoon. I'll be around anyway.
Nope, you don't have to do it then.
Mayor, question?
Yes, ma'am.
In reference to the retention committee, when that is completed, then it's after that that we can schedule the shred day,
Yes,
once that's done.
yes.
So anybody that,
So we'll get it this spring.
yeah.
Come on, Jan, you let me down. I thought that's what you were coming for.
I got that.
Oh, we waited this long, we might as well.
Yeah, what's another couple months, right?
She's disappointed that she's getting what she wants. and
I
can't
know.
Okay, anything else under council committees or council representatives? Manager's report would be next. No manager. Report other village officials. And solicitor, you have anything? Chief, you have anything for us this evening? Bill?
I did tell you earlier I wanted to go into executive session.
Yes.
No action to be taken.
Okay. Hello, Bill?
No.
Lee?
No, sir.
Mr. Reed?
No, sir.
Okay.
David?
On to ordinances and resolutions.
Mayor, I would make a motion to read Resolution 06-2018 and Resolution 07-2018 by title only, please.
Second.
Motion by Harp, seconded by Wright to read by title only. Questions or comments? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Phillips.
Aye.
Wright.
Aye.
Hart.
Aye.
Avery.
Aye.
Count.
Okay, here we go. Resolution 06-2018. This comes from Finance Committee, Councilmember Harp. This is a resolution declaring a surplus miscellaneous equipment and authorizing the municipal manager to dispose of said surplus municipal equipment. Council, having heard the resolution read by title only, what's your pleasure?
Mayor, I make a motion we adopt the resolution as read.
Second? Motion by Harp, second by Avery, to adopt the resolution as read. Questions or comments?
Mayor, under questions or comments, this is from the service department only on surplus at this time. We will probably have others as they come about.
That Joe fire truck?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Clerk call the roll.
Phillips.
Aye.
Wright.
Aye.
Hart.
Aye.
Avery.
Aye.
Kennel.
Yeah.
Motion carries. Resolution is adopted as presented. This is Resolution 07-2018. This comes from Park and Recreation. This is Councilmember Flowers. This is a resolution amending Resolution 03-2018, directing the municipal clerk to request the county auditor to certify the Village of Sebring Council to the Sebring Village Council the current tax evaluation of Sebring and the amount of the revenue that would be generated by a 1/2 mil renewal tax levy for the operation of Park and Recreation. Council, having heard the resolution read in its, by title only, what's your pleasure?
Mayor, I make a motion, we adopt the resolution as read.
Second.
Motion by Hart, Wright, second by Phillips to adopt as read. Questions or comments?
Yeah,
This is not a second, this is a correction of the first.
Can you tell us what changed on that, Malia? Was it just that?
Well, I received an email from the auditor's office once I sent it over. In 12/22/2017, the prosecutor's office asked that we include the whole territory, not just the village, that we're asking for the whole territory, the date of the election on this. I usually put the day of the election on the other one, and what was the third? She gave me a whole list. I missed it by 2. The purpose of, which I said the purpose was already there for the maintenance of the operation of Parks and Recreation. So she said that the prosecutor's office says this ordinance has to follow wording of the second ordinance. and they just changed it in December and I wasn't aware.
Okay. And
Good job.
this half mil is for the pool, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
This is for the swimming pool.
that's what I understand.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Phillips.
Aye.
Wright.
Aye.
Hart.
Aye.
Sebring.
Aye.
Kennel.
Yes.
Motion carries, resolution is adopted as presented. Item number 10 is citizens' comments. Any citizen wish to address council at this time? Any other business to come before this council?
Yes, Mayor, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Teresa, again, you said that there was no need, but if we wanted to, we could have a resolution drawn for that.
Any member of council has the right to present a resolution or an ordinance to the body and have it treated just like.
Sure, I know, yeah, I just,
Not your 3-question limit.
I got 5. I got big hands.
Yeah, any member, and that, I can't tell you exactly where it is in the charter, but it says any member can
Yes.
bring an ordinance or a resolution in.
By the way, publicly, I don't agree with your interpretation of B under that charter.
I knew that coming in there.
So I think you're statutorily wrong. Okay, the other business I have is on March the 6th, there will be a RETA representative here in Sebring City Hall that has to assist any taxpayer who needs tax help with their city income tax. The hours are going to be from noon to 6 p.m. So, okay? With that, you've heard the solicitor's recommendation that she would like a executive session for personnel.
Kennel has something over there, Mayor, before.
Mr.
If
Kennel?
I may ask, I was going to ask the manager, but I'm going to ask Mr. Sainer. He said in the previous list of streets that need paved in our community. Have you got that done yet?
To get a list together?
What?
Is that what you're asking, to get a list together for this year?
Well, the manager has stated that he's asked you to get a list together.
Yeah.
You have it?
No, not yet for this year.
Huh?
No.
Okay, well, when you do have it together, would you please put a copy in my box?
Certainly.
Thank you.
Okay.
That it?
Okay. Motion to go into executive session,
Second.
including all of council, mayor, and solicitor. Is there anybody else that you're calling for this? Okay. Okay, with no action to be taken, advised by the solicitor.
Is it personnel?
Personnel, for personnel? Okay,
You say no action should be taken?
Right.
motion by Harp, seconded by Wright. Questions or comments? No action to be taken, correct, Mr. Harp?
No, sir. No action to be taken, advised by the solicitor, so.
Okay, clerk call the roll.
Phillips.
Aye.
Wright.
Aye.
Hart.
Aye.
Sebring.
Aye.
Kennel.
Yes.
This council is in executive session. Please excuse us. There'll be no action taken after the executive session, folks.